Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Meriwether with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitted for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play safe. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get right. Cause it can get please don't play no games with me, I promise I'm too much. Ay, I can never let up even if you had enough. Ay, this ain't for the faint of heart, we always playing rough. I had enough, it ain't luck. I needed a vision, I needed ambition, I needed a mission to beat this submission with no intermission. I see the collision, the crash in the distance, they coming off track, no. Now when they ask what's the motive, don't talk like the show. They all about to see what I mean in the moment. I gotta keep going, I'm shaking the dice and I'm keeping it rolling, they already know. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play safe. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get right. Cause it can get right. Cause it can get right.
Yeah. Good morning. Or good afternoon. Good early afternoon. What's good with everybody in the building? I see it's a slow flow this morning. We do have a great show ahead of us today, man. We got some special guests in the building. And of course, we got the boxing, the regular boxing talk we got to talk about, right? This morning, we're definitely going to get into conversations a little bit more, focus on the aftermath of this past weekend's performances. We'll be talking about the good business in boxing and what makes more sense and what we can expect to see in the coming weeks as things are developing right now on all playing fields, right? Salute to everybody in the building. Shout out to the people that were over there on the Boxing Voice earlier today with me. I think they're still going on right now. We had some good conversations up there talking about the whole altercation with Bill Haney's team, with Team Haney, with Sean and, supporting cast members. And, of course, Tiger Johnson, that whole entire brawl situation. Kind of got passionate up there a little bit, right? We kind of got a little passionate up there trying to figure out where do we put the blame on this situation. And, as I stated earlier, across the board, accountability across the board, of course, right? I mean, that was an unfortunate situation. A lot of hands played their hands the wrong way. And I think with hindsight, people will return to the video and see where they could have done better. And I think if everybody did better, then we probably would have avoided that big altercation, right? It is what it is. On the back end of that, listen, we already know Shakur Stevenson is on his media tour, as he should be. He just shook up the whole entire space with that performance he put on this weekend. So he's got interviews now rolling out, one with Najee, and I'm expecting more to roll out. I know Terrence Crawford is using the momentum to go ahead and do his interviews, and now that he's on the pivot. So, great conversations, great hindsight reflection on the positioning of Shakur Stevenson, how he got to that point, and even the idea of Keyshawn Davis. And I've spoken to you guys about this before, the wealth, the priceless worth. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but being able to spar the likes of a Keyshawn Davis or Terrence Crawford, or, you know, getting all these different looks in there. When people talk about resumes and they compare and they say, let's look at who Shakur Stevenson is fought. Let's look at who Teofimo Lopez had just fought, and, you know, try to use that as a triangle theory, as to trying to predict what's going to happen inside the ring with them. I think that's fair, but I think it's also fair to bring up the sparring, right? Because there's arguments in there that they can use to say, well, on that side of the conversation, who is Teofimo sparring? Who is he in the ring with that's preparing him for Shakur Stevenson? And I think we watch it play out inside that ring. And I think hindsight says that, you know, and when you listen to Shakur Stevenson explain his position on it, he feels like it's almost unfair, right? He feels like it's almost unfair to have fighters having to even fight him and Keyshawn, just off the strength that more than likely whoever Keyshawn's fighting or whoever Shakur's fighting, any of the guys that they're in the ring with aren't better than those guys, right? Hope I didn't send you guys down a crazy hope I didn't confuse you guys too much, right? With that. Don't let that go over your head. We do have a special guest popping up on the show later today. Be looking forward to build with the great Robert Meriwether III. He should be probably popping in, you know, at some point in the show, probably, you know, inside another 30 minutes or something like that, will be popping up. And when he does, we'll enjoy the conversation there as well. Shout out to everybody who is in the building right now. Looking at Flexing and Stepping in the building. What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? Says Flex, my boy Clay. Let's get it. No doubt. Let's get it in, man. He said, great job today on TBV. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. I feel like sometimes I get underappreciated a little bit over there, not by Ness and them. I think they're great and everything, but I think the community sometimes has a hard time taking things one step at a time, right? Instead of, you know, they clutter a lot of thought into one ball and make it very confusing, and the needle and the goalpost gets moved around a lot at times, and sometimes it's not that complicated, right? Accountability, it shouldn't be that complicated. That's just the reality of the situation. Shout out to OG. Shout out to Sam from Jersey in the building. What's good with you, family? OG John Tight Lips says, wow, you got a big head. Okay. All right. Well, that's how we're starting. OG Tight Lips. Okay. Subscribe to the channel, though. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my guy, Fight Sports Talk. Fight Sports Talk in the building, man. Good to see you in the building this early in the morning, man. Says, I think Devin versus Shakur makes more sense. Keyshawn has plenty of other champions to fight. Devin and Shakur have history. We can talk about that. What makes sense, what doesn't make sense, because there's a lot going on there, right? With Keyshawn. I know the whole space is holding Keyshawn Davis accountable right now because he's explaining to the space that, look, I got options. I don't got to fight Devin next. And I think people might be misconstruing that as him not wanting to fight Devin next, right? But I think, you know, we'll talk about it. You know, I mean, when we get the usual suspects up here, we'll talk about that for sure. Flexing and Steppin says, emotional ass grown men put their fan pride in front of, yeah, man, right and wrong, right? I think it comes down to that, Flexing and Steppin. It's just right and wrong. It's not about support or not support. You know, I mean, you can still support the Haneys and what they're doing, but you can still have accountability in there inside of that support, right? How does that look? You know, it looks like, yeah, bro, everybody did what they had to do, because when it became a fight, it was a fight. And when it's a fight, right? So everybody did what they had to do at that point. But what could we have done to curb that from happening? Because once it's up, it is up. You know what I mean? Right or wrong. If I'm there with my brother's getting swung on, he's swinging on people, I'm swinging. I'm not stopping it. Hold on, what's going on? I'm not trying to get no understanding in the heat of the moment. I'm in there trying to take heads off like everybody else is trying to take my brother's heads off and probably trying to take my head off. But before that, when we look at hindsight, after we get home or something, we can revisit the situation, find out what happened. If my brother was the one who instigated and was wrong, I can hold my brother accountable and still have love for him, right? And be like, yo, bro, hold up. But why'd you ain't had to do all that? So you did that. Now we end up in a situation that somebody could have died. We could have killed somebody by accident. We could have hit somebody wrong. They hit their head somewhere, death. Now we're facing charges. You could have died. I could have died. People we love could have died or got hurt in a real bad way. So we got to be able to hold each other accountable, man, and move the needle accordingly, man, and grow as men and be enablers of growth amongst ourselves, right? Leave it to my long-winded ass to make it into a Martin Luther King speech. Slow said, nah, you to go, Clay. No doubt, man. Salute, man. Bulbous in the building said, Fight Sports is on Ice supporter. F that clown. Okay, all right. That was different. Sean Longway in the building says, Tank versus Shakur, biggest fight. You know what I'm saying? Bear with me, because this just doesn't excite me anymore. I can't lie. Tank versus any, I don't know, bro. It is what it is. JR Spock, what's good with you, family? Oh, what's good? All right, man. So it is what it is, man. We got a lot to talk about. We got a little bit of time to kill before Robert Meriwether goes up there. Before I go any further into the conversation, let me bring up the usual suspects. Like I tell you guys every single week, you love to hate them or you hate you love them. Either way, man, that guy be talking some shit. Shout out to my guy, Ray. Angela Ray is in the building. Salute. What's good, big Samo?
Hey, feeling good, Clay, feeling good. The chat, the chat's the chat as always, man. Somebody already starting off with couldn't even give you a good early afternoon, sir. Had to hit you with the.
They're on my top. They're on my top.
Man. Yeah, it's like. I thought we would be talking about Jarrell Miller's top, but all right. I guess.
Listen, everybody wants me to get a toupee. People are telling me, I think, somebody the other day was like, would you get a toupee for ZUFFA? Would you wear it? Right. I guess, I do got a big head.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah,
He's like,
okay.
what can I do, bro? You can't beat it, man. The internet's undefeated.
Well, speaking of ZUFFA, we definitely have to
shout out to flexing and stepping, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We have that. Yeah, thank you, sir. We love the fact that we've been getting so many of the different fighters, and it's not like we haven't gotten different fighters in this channel before. You've had Brian Norman on here, right? But ZUFFA's the thing. So a lot of ZUFFA fighters are coming on, again because, and Clay, these are just facts, man. I just got to say it, but we've been very positive about them since way before, and I think that the word got around, and a lot of these fighters are more than happy to come in. We had Julian Rodriguez yesterday. If you guys haven't seen that, you really get to see a perspective of Julian that maybe most people don't even know, right? Like don't understand it. He's all about being a father and family. Today we're really excited to have this young man. Jeez, you want to talk about young? Robert Meriwether III. They calling him king already, but he a young prince still, bro. He 20. I like so. Right. But like in Game of Thrones, they had 20-year-old kings too. So it'll be exciting to talk to him. We're gonna have Jaleel Hackett on Thursday. We're gonna have Demazian Van Houter next week Tuesday. So we're not trying to make it a ZUFFA channel. It's just that a lot of these ZUFFA boxers are really wanting to come on the ATP Combat Media. So thank you to you guys, and thank you for your time on that. I am very excited that I'm sure we'll get a chance to talk about this today too. But Terrence Crawford went on to pivot. Shakur Stevenson had some words to say today too. But the subject of today, as you were saying, is good business, right? And what I wanted to point out, Clay, and I kind of want to get your take on this is, do you ever look at boxing kind of like, I think it's the only sport in where the money will reflect the matches. Because in no other sport is that
value,
right?
of the fight.
Value of the fight. The closest thing I could think of, I guess, would be because baseball doesn't have a salary cap. So everybody will mess with like the Dodgers. Well, of course the Dodgers made it to the World Series and they are going to win it because they spent the most money. But in our sport, in boxing, the person making the most money actually isn't necessarily even the better fighter, right? But for fights to be made, Clay, it's like the money's got to be right, or it's got to make sense. And I thought that it was really telling today when Shakur said, "I'm at a point now where the belts really won't matter to me. I'm looking for big fights," right? And that's interesting if you think about it on a sporting perspective, right? But what are your thoughts on that?
Man, it's what I've been saying for a little bit of time right now, right? And that's what this show was about. It's so timely for Shakur to drop an interview like that and kind of speak on this, because these fighters have chapters in their career. I remember, a long time ago, I'm talking about like about 2-3 years ago. No, I would say, about a little over 2 years ago when I first started this channel. And I was actually just doing shorts, and I would do them from my truck. I'd be sitting in, my work truck, and I would put my phone up and I would give my takes. And I always had 3 levels that fighters were at. And I always said you had the prospect level, to where you would just be trying to be active, fight as many fights as you could. It didn't even matter how competitive they were per se. You wanted them, you were gradually making them more competitive, but you were in that season of just being active, right? You wanted people to see you fight as much as possible. Then you hit the next chapter, which is what I call the contender, right, space, which is where now the fights start becoming important. You want to pick the right fights now because you're trying to get somewhere. So now you're strategically moving a little bit more. But after you've accomplished all of that and you've gotten the belts and you've gotten the accolades, now you enter the prize fighter part of your career, right? Now it's about setting yourself up to find your way out at some point. Let's line up the big fights, get as much money as we can. Let's make this whole journey worthwhile. Now we reap the benefits. We start harvesting, right, from all of the work we put in building ourselves up. And I think the Shakur Stevens and believe it or not, right now, I think Keyshawn Davis is in a like a middle place where he's still the contender champion, but he may have an opportunity to jump into his prize fighter space, right? And he's entertaining which route is he really gonna go. Like, I can make it all about the money right now, but I also got a lot of contender legacy that I still looking to accomplish and build it. But if I can get in the door, you know what I mean? It's like, even though I'm not allowed in this club, if somebody's willing to let me in the club, do I not go in the club because I'm not of age, or do I take my underage ass up into the damn club and go, you know what I mean? And be wrong as far as people are concerned, but reaping the opportunities of an adult who's allowed to be in the club because somebody's willing to let me in. We saw that with Gervonta Tank Davis, right? Before he actually did the legacy, he was given an opportunity because his big brother, Floyd Mayweather, was like, bro, you get in here, bro. Open the door. And he let him in the club. Was he wrong for walking into the club and collecting his money up front and being a prize fighter early before he earned the accolades? You know what I mean?
Right. Jake Paul.
Business, right?
Jake Paul's a prize fighter, right?
100%.
Right.
100%. Right. People are mad at Jake Paul. Oh, he didn't pay his dues. He's just straight up getting the money. You know, Tim Bradley was upset. He look at everything you did, but he didn't have to. You know what I mean? Some people get that privilege, get that opportunity, and are they wrong for taking it if it's given to them? What do you think about that, right?
Yeah, no, you know, it's funny that when you say that, are they wrong? Fighting and boxing in particular, man, is the only sport where people die. And I believe the last time I looked at the average, I haven't seen the 2025 average yet, but going into 2025, I believe it was an average of in between 8 to 13 deaths per year. Like this, I mean, which is globally. I'm talking about globally, things that happen. You know, that boxing was the cause during a fight for it to happen, right? So I'm never mad at any individual in any business that they do, Claymore. I would never be mad at them for wanting to get the most money they can for the work that they're trying to produce. Now, on the flip side, though, as a fan, like, you know, when we're watching it, we're the consumers, right? I would hate that for the NFL or the NBA or any of the leagues, because then it's like, so you're telling me that here we are, we're in Super Bowl week, but the Seattle Seahawks, who was the best team in the NFC, will only play the worst team that can get them the most money, instead of the team that actually deserved to get into the finals. And that's where I feel like we're now at a point where, and as you know, you know, Clay, but having been in the UFC myself, right, and understanding that in that league, everybody gets paid, right? And no one, like, you can know or not know, but you don't really know because Dana be giving out checks to people on the back end, and you're getting money for sponsorships and other things. So you don't really know what the total value net worth is, right? But at the end of the day, there isn't, well, we're putting up John Jones because he's the A side against Daniel Cormier, who's the B side. It's just the way it works is Daniel Cormier is the champ. John Jones is the guy that needs to challenge him. We're putting them together, and the money's the money. And none of the fans in that space really think of who's making more money, who's making less money, who's the A side, who's the B side. They're just thinking UFC 275, right? Like they're not. So, and I'm bringing that up only because now we're in the ZUFFA. We're about to have ZUFFA 03, which is kind of like the beginning when you were watching MMA in the very inception of it all, right? We got FAA Jabba fighting the former world champion, Charles Martin, which, by the way, guys, I know that in the boxing aficionado space, some of y'all may look at Charles Martin and say to yourselves, man, that guy's not that good as a heavyweight. Fact of the matter is, he was the world champion for 70 days. Like it or not, he was the world heavyweight champion. And that's how Anthony Joshua got that belt, right, Claymore? So to the casual fans, which is what we try to do in this channel all the time, they're just going to be told former world champion, former heavyweight world champion, Charles Martin is now fighting FAA Jagba, who's ranked number 8 in the Ring magazine. So that's a format. And as a casual fan, I can understand the format. But neither person told me who the A side, the B side, and who's making more money. And then now we're on this other side right now, where you were at the Boxing Voice, and there's conversations about, really what should happen is Shakur should really fight Devin Haney, and they should make the money right, or this money and that money. And it's like, whoa. I'm confused. Let's say I'm a casual fan. I'm confused. I thought Shakur Stevenson just won the 140-pound Ring magazine champion. So isn't he that weight class? But I thought Devin Haney just beat Brian Norman, and he's 147. I don't understand. Why are they fighting each other? I don't get it. It's confusing because the money, the business is involved. That's why I want to hear from your perspective. It's very unique.
It's a unique sport, bro. Without a doubt, boxing it's a unique sport, man. It's not cookie cutter the way maybe it should be, but the way it actually is what it is. And that's important to take into consideration when you're trying to figure out in a real way what to expect next. You have to take it in consideration. This is a sport where the value of the fight makes the biggest difference as to the likeliness of the fight happening. And when we're having these conversations, unfortunately, it's the inconvenient truth is, if you're trying to figure out what Keyshawn Davis is going to do next, if you're trying to figure out what Shakur Stevenson is going to do next, Devin Haney, Gervonta Tank Davis, any of these fighters, you have to take into consideration what's more valuable to them, what makes more sense to them, and which way they're probably going to go. Unfortunately, that's just part of the game. So that being said, what's circulating in the space right now, and the big confusion in the space right now is on the back end of this fight that happened this weekend. Reyes, the confusion is that Devin Haney is definitely looking for a dance partner. He's been looking for a dance partner ever since he had this victory with Brian Norman Jr. The space has been looking for a dance partner for Devin Haney and trying to figure it out. We've seen him hit the wall. Rolly Romero shot it down immediately. Conor Benn, I don't want to be involved in it. Lewis Crocker seemed like there was some hope there, but Eddie Hearn got other plans. Looks like he's trying to negotiate with Liam Paro. That looks like what it's going to be. So what's Devin Haney going to do? What's his next opportunity? Who's he going to fight next? Because we know he's just not going to fight his mandatory, right? He's not looking for the next guy.
Which is Jack Catterall.
Which is Jack Catterall, right?
Right.
He's not looking to do that. He'd rather he's in his prize fighter space. He's achieved the accolades. He's become undisputed. He's a multiple weight division champion. He's you know what I'm saying? He's achieved enough accolades at a very young age, by the way, because I remember one time I was talking to Bill Haney about this, and I said, hey, the legacy thing. We all remember Devin to be a legacy fighter who's always looking to collect belts, unify, but this was right around the Ryan Garcia time. And I said, this Ryan Garcia fight just doesn't make sense because he doesn't have a belt. He just never had a belt. It just didn't make no sense. Only one thing makes sense is the money. That's what only thing that made sense. And he said to me, listen, how old was Terrence Crawford? I remember he asked me this question. He said, how old is Terrence Crawford? I said, I don't know. I think at the time Terrence was like 34, 33. I don't know, some kind of age like that, right? And I said, he said, Devin is already undisputed and he's 20, let's say 5 at the time, 26.
Okay. Super young.
Right.
Yeah.
And he said, Devin can get back to the legacy. He has time. We've done enough right now. Right now, we can get some money right now and come back to the legacy. And that's around the time when I started to come full circle to understanding that, yeah, man, these fighters have different seasons that they're in. And when the fighter is in the prize fighting season of their career, you have to start when you're talking about them and trying to figure out what they're going to do, we have to factor it in. And for Devin right now, the money makes a difference, and it has to make sense. If it has to make dollars for it to make sense. Does that make sense?
No. I understand. It's just again, and hey, shout out to CJ. That's our guy, CJ Rich Boxing and BS. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel.
Sure.
Thank you for the $10. He says, great weekend for boxing. Action packed, that's for sure. Let's be grateful. That's that we say that all the time too. Let's just be grateful that we had a hell of a weekend. And Shakur was the most impressive. Yes, he was. And what you got?
1,500.
CJ.
Yeah, that's why the chat is blowing up in the yellow. That's why it's blowing up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I appreciate it, man.
Oh, man. Wow.
DJ spreading the love, man. Listen, he made himself some money, and he's spreading some love right now, bro. We appreciate you, family. Thank you, gang.
Hey, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. That's awesome. I'll tell you, though, like, it's again, that's, and the whole point, the title that you put out is good business. It's just interesting to me that you just told me that Devin Haney, who's pound for pound number 10, beats Brian Norman, right? And he's the one looking for a dance partner? Like, what happened to people wanting to be like, I want to fight that guy because I want to be where Devin Haney's at? You're telling me people are turning him down? And is it, and again, I'm speaking, when I do this, you know, Clay, I'm doing the devil's advocate side, but I'm speaking for the casual fan. Talk to us like we're a casual fan. So Claymore, please explain to us casuals why someone wouldn't just fight somebody to go get what they have. Isn't that what all sports is about? To be the best you could be? Can't two things be true? That I can make money and also be the best of this time this year, right? Can you explain to me why Devin Haney doesn't have a quote unquote dance partner?
Well, I think a lot of these fighters, they're trying to build up to their biggest paydays as well, right? And they understand that stylistically, Devin Haney, you know what he's super capable of doing? Slowing a fight down, no matter how much of a puncher and how good you are. And these fighters know it. Right, the Rolly Romeros, the Conor Benns, they understand, man. We want to be involved in super exciting fight of the year candidate fights, and we don't believe. And this is what I'm hearing from them. We don't believe we can cut the ring off. We don't believe we can close the space. We don't believe we can make this fight an exciting fight because Devin Haney is better at controlling everything we're doing than we are in forcing our will on him. Right, the good boxers don't care. Like, it don't matter who that guy is. I'm going to, like, Keyshawn, for example, is a fighter who sees Devin Haney's style and says, I want to fight him and I'm going to knock him out. He knows what he's facing. He sees Devin for what Devin Haney is, but he's saying, in spite of that, I'm going to cut the ring off, close the space. I'm capable of doing it. My IQ and my pedigree, I believe in, and I believe I can take advantage of him. He's not doing that shit with me. You feel me? Now, and now listen, I'm being devil's advocate, so nobody come and destroy me on the panel, right? Yeah, right. What did Keyshawn do to be able to?
Yeah, right. No. We're having a discussion, guys. We're having,
I'm saying is that when confidence comes out in a person's willingness to fight, when my guy Angelo's saying what it is, I'm just trying to put perspective on it to say that this is what it is. Those guys don't believe they can beat Devin, or they don't believe they can box or take what Devin does away from Devin. They believe he's better than they don't know how to do it. And I think there's some honesty in there that we can respect, right?
Right.
Like,
No.
Bro, I mean, if you don't think you can win,
then you
don't think you can win, bro. What do you want me to say?
Right. It's again, this is where, as you know, my cousin who owns Hearn Project, guys, check out. Here's one of his items in the street fashion wear. He's but he was telling me, he's like, I want to watch boxing. I like the sport. Like, he likes the action, the sport. He had a very fun time this weekend, right? He got a chance to watch a whole weekend's worth of fights from ZUFFA boxing on Sunday to all 3 world title fights on Saturday, and I mean, boxing overload. But one of the things he said, Clay, is he said, why can't it just be filtered into like one thing so that we as casuals can all follow it much easier? And when you're talking about maybe the reason why Devin Haney is popular, but not Jake Paul popular, is because it is confusing, right?
Right.
And maybe that's why Shakur is saying, I'd rather fight Pitbull Cruz right now, because Pitbull Cruz has a lot of casual fans and he's got a lot of Latino fans, and that is a fight that in the casual space could be put together and promoted extremely well. But then when he's asked, but how do you think that fight would go? And Shakur's like, oh, that's easy work. And I think we all agree that it would be kind of easy for Shakur, just given what he just did to Teofimo Lopez, right? So, when we're talking good business, do you believe that with Dana White not telling us what's about to happen, but we saw Caleb Plant there on Sunday at the Apex, we saw Regis Prograis, amongst other fighters who were just kind of roaming around, and then Dana mentioned, when he was asked, are more and more fighters coming to you? And he goes, look, I'm going to be, there's going to be announcements coming soon, and you guys won't believe some of the things that we're doing, but this is moving a lot faster than what I expected. And now there's word that he's the one that's going to be promoting Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury later this year. He's already involved with Tyson Fury versus Makhmudov in April. Are we for casual fans, Claymore, are we going to get closer to making it easier like watching the NFL? Or do you believe there's still going to be this whole good business is to, be your individual mom and pop and try to get the easiest fights for the most amount of money than
it's 100% a mixture of all those things, but we do have our guests here, that I want to bring up.
We can ask him this question.
We can get him involved in it too, because good business is good business, right? And boxing is all about good business. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen, man. When we're talking about the next generation of great fighters that are coming together, man, just you can kind of see the writing on the wall with these guys. I mean, it's all about the eye test, tilling the soil, planting the seeds of the future. I think that's what we're looking at when we're talking about Zuffa boxing, for me personally, right? Yeah. I don't get caught up so much in the veterans and the stars that Zuffa is able to sign as much as the future stars that are going to be paving the path in the future. And I think that's what Zuffa boxing, the system, seems to be like it's doing, developing the future. And coming up right now is the future of boxing. Shout out to Robert Meriwether in the building. Robert Meriwether in the building.
What's going on with y'all?
What's good, family?
Welcome, King. Can I ask you, are you currently at in Vegas? And because that looks like a Zuffa background or
we at home.
Oh, you at home now? All right.
I live in Vegas though.
It could be a Zuffa background. We support Zuffa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Salute, Mr. Meriwether, by the way, man.
Meriwether.
How you doing, sir?
Congratulations.
Great to have you guys up here. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
definitely. Congratulations on your victory, man. Great performance. Looking forward to so many more performances, but it's the new wave, right? It's a new wave of energy. So let me ask you, first of all, how are you feeling, first of all, this morning? How's everything going so far since your victory? How's everything going?
Feeling good. Just started back in strength and conditioning today.
Right.
So, feeling good, strong. I just started my strength and conditioning with the at the UFC Apex. So, PI. So, I'm feeling strong right now.
Yeah, I can imagine. Go ahead.
No, that's awesome. Hey, King, let me ask you this. So when we're looking at your career, right, and we understand that in the non-Zuffa boxing space, there was the weight division of 130, but in Zuffa, they're going 126 and then they're going 135. Now you on your last fight, you were fighting a lot closer to 135. I'm wondering, because you're so talented and you're so young, are you going to stick to that? And that's your trajectory of being ranked at under Zuffa at 135 pounds and going for the 135 Zuffa boxing belt and being ranked at Ring Magazine? Or is there a chance that we might see you at 126 at featherweight?
No, you're not gonna see me at 126. That's
Okay.
nah. I'm 130, 135. That's always been my go to. So with Zuffa, I'll be at 135, and then with Ring, I mean that's a whole nother thing. They have a 130 pound champion at Ring magazine, so that can definitely be possible as well.
That could be a
That's
legitimate option. So let me ask you this, right? You're coming out of the Mayweather gym. That's where I first heard of you, right?
Yeah.
That's where I first heard of you was, and I'm picturing anytime I see a prospect like yourself coming out of that gym, I'm thinking, oh man, highly sought after, super talented. Not everybody gets in that club. You know, what I mean, it's almost like a badge of honor, right? To be coming out of that club, that means somebody sees something in you. So before I even saw you fight, just knowing that badge of credibility you had, I expected a lot from you, right? So I can only assume that you had a lot of opportunities potentially in other areas that you could have went. I'm sure a lot of people saw you and saw some potential in promoting and pushing you. What separated Zuffa from the pack? What put you in a position to be like, you know what, this more fits what I'm trying to get done in my career?
I mean, Zuffa is the main promotion that's been giving me an opportunity. That's the main thing that I've been looking for. As far as I mean, they have a good platform. They're on Paramount Plus, so I know I'm gonna be on TV. I know that there's gonna be a lot of people around being able to turn on their TVs and watch a Robert Meriwether fight. So just with that alone, I mean that's a big plus for me. So I feel like and you know right now the U.S. landscape for boxing is not where it used to be. You're not seeing a lot of these promotions are losing their TV deals and things of that nature. So, I just feel like to get back in USA for USA to have a great platform. I mean, I think Zuffa is one of the best one right now.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Hey, King. And by the way, the reason why I call you King is from what I understand, your father actually wanted to name you King, but
Oh,
your
really?
mom, but your mom was like, "No, we're not
He
doing."
wasn't having it.
I didn't put the story out enough for
Yeah,
people to
yeah, yeah. No, no, no.
know.
I mean, from what I understand, King, and yes, sir, I do know that it was you, Mr. Meriwether, that wanted to call your son King, but mom wouldn't have it. So I thought
Happy
that was
wife,
a
happy life.
yeah,
She said
yeah.
her
But
her
that's why I'm calling him King.
her response was, "He's not gonna be able to get a job." I said, "Baby, he's not gonna have to get a job."
Mm, mm.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And she won the argument. You know how moms
Clearly,
go in the hospital. She won the argument, but
Right.
yeah, his name was supposed to be King Robert.
King Robert
Yeah,
Meriwether.
That's awesome.
That'd have been diabolical, man. That would have been a
No,
great
that
name, man.
I would
King Robert Meriwether the Third.
I
That just sounds like
yes.
royalty.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I mean, we saw you come in your Zuffa boxing debut, King, with your crown already, right? I thought that was nice. Like I like, all right, we got a little outside personality coming in with the Zuffa uniforms, which I like the Zuffa uniforms. And from what I understand of your career, you started when you were 7, so you've been boxing your entire life, multiple national championships, right? So my question is, and your father could probably answer some of this too, is when you guys were going towards the trajectory of boxing's going to be my career, why did you go pro so early instead of trying to go to the Olympics?
Uh, well, usually I just say is I had outside people in my head, but I just said it was I had Floyd Mayweather in my head, and as a 15-year-old, I think it was 15, 16 years old, having being 15, 16 years old, having a guy of influence like that in boxing saying that he wanted me to go pro and he was gonna sign me and things like that. I mean, it kind of influenced me, and I was stuck in my ways, and my dad just he went with it. At first he wanted me to stay amateur for longer, but I was just stuck in my ways, and I wanted to go pro, especially with having my
The
favorite fighter
cosign.
at the time,
Right.
giving
Right.
me the cosign like that. So
Now, my
Do you-
follow-up, sorry, Clay, it's a two-parter. My follow-up to it then is Dana White and Nick Khan have been very vocal, and they're working with USA Boxing, and we all believe that they're going to be helping the USA team and the Olympics do well in 2028. Now we're in a scenario where pro boxers can't compete, and there are fighters like Bakhtir Jalilov, the heavyweight who already has 2 gold medals in competing in 2 Olympics, but both times he was already a pro. So is that something, because you're only 20, that you would consider where you'll go maybe try for the Olympics and keep going back and forth, kind of like some of the European guys?
the only thing is with USA Boxing, we got to see if USA Boxing would even allow that because they've never done that before,
They did it last year.
other than 2020 for the COVID. But I mean, it'd be nice, but I to be honest, it's never been my goal. Like it's never been
It's a possibility.
a real goal for me.
It's a
It's a
possibility.
possibility. Yeah.
Okay, Dad
You see,
saying
I think Dad's bringing that the understanding of the experience being priceless for you. I think, right? He's seeing the reality behind the idea. Like that right there could raise your pedigree within itself to be in that type of structure, be in that kind of environment, give you an experience that you probably never had before, which would probably add to you as a fighter. Dad, please tap in, help me out here. Why is that a possibility?
Because it's an experience of a lifetime. You know,
Right.
to go through that, experience it, maybe possibly win gold. You know, it's experience of a lifetime, and he could be, you know, named with some of the greats that has won the gold medal.
I agree.
Pro fighters in the Olympics.
You just don't understand, King. You don't understand yet.
It doesn't matter. They might do it because everybody else is doing it.
Yeah, you never know.
All these years, they should have been done it. We haven't won gold since 2004.
And that's why we need someone like you, King.
That's
why we need the King.
You just hit it right on the nail at the trajectory of the conversation, right? Which is exactly what you said, is the fact that we haven't meddled in so long, and a talent like yours, if given the opportunity, right? Of course, you're right that
I mean,
it
if
might
they
not
give
be
me
there.
the opportunity, is definitely a possibility. But I'm just saying, like, I'm just thinking realistically. I don't think that they would allow a pro fighter into the Olympics just because they've never done it. Other than the one time they done it in COVID time when everybody went pro. Although the whole team went pro, and then they came back because of COVID. Even then, some of those fighters weren't on the team. They weren't even supposed to go to the Olympics. They just brought them back because of some technicality.
Well, Robert, hey, King, I'm going to say this one last thing about it because I know your dad would love for you to have it. Please understand that all of us believe that you are so talented and you are so groomed to do any type of boxing you want to be that we would actually believe that you can go get a gold medal if that's something you choose to do. But sure. I want to say this. I'm making my pitch right now to Dana White, who on your post-fight conference, Dana said when they kept asking him, hey, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? And Dana White kept saying, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So Dana, and you can let him know, Mr. Meriwether, that Angelo Reyes said this. How about you make the dream team from the ZUFFA boxing group
for the
and
Olympics.
Send them to the Olympics? Pros from ZUFFA that will go to the Olympics with King Robert Meriwether representing that lightweight class.
Okay, that sounds nice. I like that.
We're gonna paint it for you. I'm trying to tell you, man. We're trying to tell you there's a vision out here, there's a purpose here. But look, King, so we're talking about what we want, right? We're being selfish boxing fans. I'm gonna be real with you. That's exactly what's happening right now, right? But this is about you and what you want. So speak to what you want. You know what I mean? Where do you see yourself in the next, let's say, 2 years? What is a legitimate goal for you in the next, let's say, 2 years in your professional career now that you got this platform?
I mean, 2 years, I see myself, ring cards, fighting for belts, or just be a contender status, just being around a belt and being at that belt level. So that's my goal. 2 years from now, I'll be 20. 22 going on 23. So
Yeah,
that's my
that'd be
goal.
pretty young. That'd be pretty young, man. Do you see the landscape of the lightweight division, 135-pound division, when you think about the Abdullah Masons, the Floyd Schofield Juniors, Hadir Herrera's, I'm trying to think of people.
Raymond Muratayas, right?
Raymond will probably be gone, right?
Oh,
Raymond will probably be
okay.
gone, but I'm saying like those are the guys that are getting looked at as like the new wave of 135 pounders. Do you see yourself in that same conversation as a lot of these guys in the next year or so? Like you see yourself legitimately being able to compete with these guys?
For sure. I mean, there's no way that I can't look at myself in that demeanor. I feel like I'm a top guy. I feel like I can be in the top conversations with champions in the next year or two. I know I'll be in that contender status, like I said. So looking for belt challenge, and that's my goals.
No doubt, no
Now,
doubt.
now,
no
uh,
doubt.
now, as you're training here in Vegas at the UFC PI, I'm sure you're seeing all these other different athletes, and as Julian Rodriguez told us yesterday, it's a very like a university style where even your opponents would be the ones coming through, right? Do you see some of your possible opponents? Because, for example, just this past Sunday, Justin Valoria, he's 135, right? Oscar Perez is 135. We just saw Rayo beat Diego Torres. That was 135. Are these who they're lining up for you, or are there others that are out there that you're thinking could be a future opponent?
I don't know. I look at anybody around my weight. I look at them a little different. So yeah, man. It is at the end of the day, it's boxing. It's every man for himself, and it is like that. So I'm seeing a lot of guys that's around my weight that I'll look at, and then I know that they're gonna bring. I know Dana said they want to bring a lot more in. So I know there's gonna be a lot more talent that's coming into Zuffa that'd be more of a challenge, or that's as challenging as they have now. So I'm just staying on my P's and Q's and knowing I got to be in the gym constantly and be ready.
Right now, I know that the 50K must have been nice, and I'm sure that's something that maybe you weren't accustomed to. Having been with the UFC in the past myself, I understood these are what the fighters are going to start to get, right? And when you got the 50K, coming off of, by the way, a extremely dominant showpiece, but decision, were you shocked? Were you like, oh, you can get a 50K for doing a decision? That's amazing.
I mean, when Dana came in to talk about the bonuses, I knew that I was gonna win it regardless. I just had a really good feeling about it because or even before Dana, when we were talking about it for weeks, I've been telling my parents, and even then I think weigh-in day, when I had the fighter meeting, I said that to Max Kellerman and Andre Ward and all of them. I said I was gonna win it, and then I went in there and handled my business. And when on the way back to the room, I got the call that I won, and I was I started to cry a little bit.
You teared up? Oh no!
It was
That's
like, I mean,
awesome.
it's life changing for me. Like
Right.
Yeah.
I hadn't fought in 300 some days. So
Mm.
as a boxer, you're not making money unless you're fighting, and
Right.
that was a long layoff for me. And to be able to turn around and get something like that, it was definitely, it was sentimental for me.
That's awesome. Can you speak on that emotion then? Was that because I know you've spoken on this before, but that's one of the major reasons, right? Why you wanted to be with Zuffa, knowing that there isn't this weird people are going to try to avoid me. There is no avoiding anybody. But just the activity. Can like are you at a place now where you're like, hey, I'm already back into training and I'm getting ready to fight again here pretty soon?
Yeah, I have we have a target date already, so I'm knowing that I'm getting in camp soon. Well, I'm in camp now, but um we have a goal in mind. So fighting with a goal in mind is definitely um I have a different, feeling or with that. So I've been able to go through where I'm just training without any goals in mind, just being in the gym, staying in shape, and it's a different mindset when you're in that difference between having a fight date and knowing that something's going down really soon.
Yeah, that phone call, waiting on that phone call is kind of weird. Now there's a little bit, it seems like there's a little bit more peace of mind because the activities is locked in. So now you're like, okay, I got something to work on. So you're trying to stay on point. So right now in your career, activity, opponents, or positioning, right? Those are the three. And my question is, what's more important out of those three things right now between activities, opponents, and positioning, right? What are you more concerned about right now?
Yeah, for me, I'm just glad I'm able to showcase what I can do.
Mhm.
So being able to get in the ring and constantly get in that activity is definitely a different feeling than I've ever been able to experience. You know, I've fought, I think what the max was 3 times in a year. So
Mm.
I think
Mm.
I think this is gonna be a different pace for me, and I'm looking forward to it.
Man,
Yeah.
it sounds like you're fighting. I mean, I don't want to say you're fighting in March, but it sounds like you are kind of already have a target of fighting really soon. Is it possible for us to see you fight more than 3 times this year? Because you already
Well,
fought
that's what I was
12
going to
times.
literally ask you because I think on the Boxing Boys yesterday, you said you guys could possibly go north of that, right? Like 4 or 5, huh?
Yeah, we can end up doing 4 or 5. Right now we're on target for 4, but you know, anything can happen, so we can end up getting 5.
Yo,
Wow.
can I ask you a question? And I want to get some clarification for myself. As far as education, is it true? Like, are you like, did you graduate college or something? Like,
I can go to college anytime. I got a scholarship right now, but I graduated high school at 16 years old. Just
that's what it was.
Whoa.
That's what it was.
You're like Doogie
with
Howser. I
the
mean, wow.
I had a 3.9 GPA, so I had
Ooh.
my parents on me.
That's what it
Just get
was. Because I
there.
know there was something with the education thing with you. I know that you're a real smart dude. I was telling Reyes that I'm like, nah, I think he's either got a degree already or graduated or something was going on with you. So I know you're super educated. You're super articulate, by the way, man.
Right.
I saw you on up there with Max Keller in there. How was that experience? How'd that feel to be there on that big stage? You know what I mean? Did you feel kind of small amongst the giants, or did you feel right at home? How'd you feel?
It was great. I think they called me Sunday morning right after. Oh no, Saturday morning right after the fight on Friday, and said that they was flying me out to California for inside the ring. So that's a good question. I don't know. Yeah,
That wasn't,
I'm
but
telling the story.
yeah,
I went to inside the ring, and being around those, just seeing. I came in and seeing Max and Malik and Mike and Shady, and just seeing those guys. It was definitely, I was a star. I was, what is it? A deer in headlights at first, but just getting in front of the camera, I kind of settled down and was able to just talk and be myself, and it was a great experience. I loved it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
that's got to be an experience as far as and I want you to speak a little bit more on it because I know there's a lot more to it, right? As far as when you go in there's a studio, they're miking you up, right? They're telling you where to sit. They're letting you know what camera is your camera, what camera is going to be looking at, but at the same time, they're telling you just be natural, just be, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know what I'm saying, be yourself. I don't want you to feel no pressure, but look here. Sit here and you know what I'm saying and be here and you're gonna get. How was that experience? Or just was that your first time being in that professional space to where you're kind of being guided and moving around? And were you thinking about that a little bit as you were kind of on the live show as you were dealing with the show?
I don't think it was my first time.
Was it
I
okay?
can't remember, but I know I was. I mean, I was just being myself. I like
Okay.
to now. Now I'm starting to really open up out of my shell. I think over the years I've been a little shy. So
Hmm.
now the older I'm getting, I feel like I can just be myself. And now I'm realizing that a lot more people like my actual personality and who I am. So
Mm.
just being myself is definitely helping, and I'm gonna continue to do that.
Yeah, no, certainly. But with being with Dana White, he likes all of the fighters to just be themselves, and whatever comes out, right? And in the ring, King, we could see that you're extremely high IQ, very accurate. It was almost like every 10 seconds, you already had a plan for your next move, and you were completely dominant when we watched you on Paramount Plus. With that said, now though, here you are, you're moving yourself forward. You've spoken about how, and in the show, we've talked about one of the great things about Shakur Stevenson, and Claymore's very adamant about saying this all the time. Shakur's not, it's not necessarily the opponents that Shakur's fighting, more so than the people he's sparring. And he's sparring Terrence Crawford, he's sparring Keyshawn Davis. Now, you, King, you've been in there with Shakur, you've been in there with Jorge Linares. And I mean, I remember going back to Jorge Linares when he was at Wildcard Gym. One of the best things I ever watched was Jorge Linares against Adrian Broner, when Adrian Broner was still in the amateurs, right? And you kind of had that same trajectory of, well, I'm already going to spar Shakur, I'm already going to spar Haney, you know. So you've sparred the best. How soon do you feel like you could already say, you know what, you want to give me a title shot against Rayo now? I'll do it, right? Or where are we at on that?
I'm 20 years old, so whatever. I mean, I feel like we have a good trajectory on where I'm going with my career, and I feel like my team has a good plan for me, and you know, I'm sticking to the plan.
I like that answer. I like
I
that answer, Robert. I like
media trained. I like it.
No, that's the way you got to be out here, man.
Yeah,
and that's interesting that Reyes brought that up, because I definitely wanted to talk about that as well, and let you dive into that. As far as coming out of that Mayweather gym, I'm knowing you're seeing great sparring. So I was wondering if you want to share with us some of the, you know, Reyes went down a couple of people, but who have you sparred with? You know what I'm saying? Since you're professional, you know, you started your professional career in that gym.
I mean, I've been sparring guys since I was an amateur. Like,
Right.
I had sparred Tank and Devin when I was 15, 16 years old. And then as I got older, I've sparred Linares, Keyshawn, Shakur, some more. But I've been in there with a million champs at this point. So
No, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. That's gonna do a lot. Keyshawn, you saw the fights this weekend, I'm assuming, right? Yeah. Are you still a boxing fan, Robert?
Yeah,
You're still watching these fights, right? Who did you pick going into the Shakur T.O. fight, by the way? I'm not sure. Who did you pick going in?
You go to Fight Hype right now. I have my predictions. I was perfect.
You're perfect?
Oh, on everyone, on all of them.
I wish people went and put their money on it, but I did. Keyshawn. I said Keyshawn by KO, and I said Shakur by decision. Although I had it closer than that, than what it was, but I had Shakur by decision.
What do you think was a big? Because I think a lot of people did, with as far as Shakur and T.O.'s concerned. A lot of people felt like it was going to be a super competitive fight, and it just wasn't, right? It was one-sided. Did you put your finger on what it was that made the difference from you watching it? What was it that made it so one-sided as you were watching the fight go through? What'd you see?
It was one punch, and well, two things in one punch. It was one jab and Shakur's distance. I mean, it changed the game for T.O. And it felt like, when I was watching the fight, it really felt like T.O. really didn't have a plan or a game plan or any types of strategy to try to change what was going on in the fight. I mean, he kind of went in there like a deer headlights. Like, he was confused from round one on, and I don't really see what, like, I don't know. It was really weird to me just watching the fight go on. Like, T.O. just seemed like he wasn't himself.
Do you know the father-son dynamic? By the way, is your father your trainer, or do you have another team?
He's my head trainer.
Okay, so there was an interesting dynamic inside that ring that people were looking at, right? And here you are, a father-son duo, right, moving through your career. How do you guys feel like? Is there a separate father-son and then fighter-trainer relationship, or is it just all melted together? You know what I'm saying? Like, when it's fight time, when he's getting you ready, is it like Pops goes out the door, Coach Meriwether's in there, and he's moving with you that way, or how's that dynamic work with you guys right now?
Yeah, for the most part, he's always been like that since I was around 13, 14 years old. As I gotten older, we've just been, coaching and fighter in the gym, and then when we get home, it's all father son. So,
So
um,
I want to involve
Mm,
your father in this too. So is he
yeah.
still close to
he
you?
he just walked out. Once,
I
Okay.
wanted to get him
That's all
involved in
right.
that part. It's all good.
That's
It's
all
all
right.
good. Yeah, yeah. It's definitely all good. But I thought it was interesting, man, because what's going on in the news right now is the dynamic in T.O.'s corner, right? A lot of people are looking at dynamic and they're wondering, is that functional or dysfunctional? And I'm saying that they're trying to put their finger on it. And I don't know if you would even care to share an opinion on it, because I know there's some points of conversations that you guys just stay away from. But did you see that dynamic, and did you have any type of opinion one way or another of what you saw happening in
we
that corner?
we definitely had an opinion on it. It didn't look right. It did look very
Hmm.
dysfunctional. And then we were just disappointed on how senior left his son in the
Mm,
ring on his own
mm,
without, that was very disheartening for us to watch like that.
mm,
Mm,
And then during each rest, it just didn't seem like, senior was given much instructions. And
mm,
I mean, he kind of, I felt like he kind of he threw Junior out there in the
mm.
pool without him knowing how to swim, and just try to make him swim without
Right.
teaching anything. So,
Kept
mm,
demanding
uh,
him to swim, right? Swim,
yeah,
come on. He's like, I don't know,
yeah.
I'm trying, and help me. He's like,
So
no.
mm,
yeah, so he went out. I mean, he kept on throwing him out there, telling him to not really do much. It was just, where's your power, or punch him. Like, that's easier said than done. And he really wasn't breaking it down on what he should do to actually punch him. So
No, I mean, on a scenario like that, because I know for yourself, I feel like when you're sharing these thoughts with us, you're not just watching it as another boxer who's moving up to as a contender moving up. You're looking at it as a son, also, right? You're looking at it as a human being. So, my question to you is, uh what me and Clay and our podcast, we talked yesterday about when we saw Tio do that interview and he said how he hated himself and God's punishing him. We felt bad and we were saying, wow, maybe this is a good time for you to step away. Now, from what you saw, um you're a fighter right now and you saw that dynamic and you're seeing it from both the son perspective and the fighter's perspective. What advice would you give Teofimo at this point?
it's hard because, with him saying that, God, I mean, that's just a mental thing that even I couldn't really help him with that, because
Right.
a lot of people go through mental issues and mental problems. And even I went through some tough hardships myself when I wasn't fighting. I went all of 2023. I only had one fight, and that was on a very weird notice. Like, I didn't know if I was gonna fight or not. So it was very hard for me to go through something like that. So just for him to go through what he's going through right now, with with him losing his belts, and then, even then they had a very big beef with him and Shakur. So and
Mhm.
Bud as well. So, you know losing that battle as well, and then with his dad, that's not even a boxing thing. That's more of a family, you
Yeah,
know, love
exactly.
thing. So, uh, you know, I'll say whatever he's going through, I just hope that he can pray on it,
Mm,
and have a better day the next day.
No doubt, no
yeah,
doubt.
yeah,
So so on the better things, right? Because this is a gloomy
yeah,
topic, right?
yeah.
Like it is what it is. That's T.O.'s side of the conversation. But I think the bigger part of the conversation is Shakur Stevenson put on a master class, right?
Whew.
And I'm sure you could appreciate that because you're a boxer, right? You're a high IQ boxer. You take your time. You're not just some puncher. Were you able to appreciate the performance? Like, in the guy that you sparred, was it kind of like a little bit of a validation? Like, yeah, I sparred against that dude. You know what I'm saying? The Shakur, was it like, yeah, That's why I've been
Yeah,
trying
I
to
mean,
tell y'all.
just from watching the fight. I mean, as like you said, I'm a boxer, so
Mhm.
I was able to take some things from what I watched and just put it in my arsenal as well. And then man, that was definitely a that was a great
That's what I'm saying, right?
that was definitely a great performance. Even when you look back at it, it was really great. Like just shutting down a fighter of To's um magnitude like that. It was great. I mean, T.O. was like he was a unified champion in
Right.
everything. Like he beat top guys. Like
Right.
he
Yeah,
beat
he beat
Loma,
Lomachenko.
he beat
Yeah.
Josh Taylor, and Josh Taylor was a good fighter at the time. So I mean, you can't really take away what Shakur did, and that's the crazy part. How the boxing fans are with I seen people trying to take away or diminish Shakur's
Mm.
performance, saying that T.O. is not a great fighter. He's a good fighter, or he's not a great fighter. Like T.O.'s a great fighter, and Shakur really made him look like a decent fighter. So, um,
Yeah.
you know, that's another thing for boxing fans. They're just I don't really resonate
I
with
was
them.
literally about,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
swear I was
yeah,
about to roll into that. I swear to you, bro.
yeah.
Literally, I was about to roll into that as far as the fans. And you went with it, bro. And that's why I was letting you go. But I was literally going to follow up the question with you as a boxer being able to really see how great what Shakur did was. Like you saw it. You knew how that was Shakur, right? Being a masterclass, high IQ boxer, but these fans ain't seeing it that way. Do you ever get concerned with that for yourself, that people aren't seeing you for the high level fighter that you are, or have you learned to just kind of like, how have you face that not being, because not every, like, you didn't get a stoppage your last fight, you know what I'm saying? You made the boxing match the priority, you know what I'm saying? You scored, you were defensively responsible, you were
You
putting
you
heat on them now.
you knocked out a lot of mouthpieces, is what I remember
Right,
too, King.
exactly, you put sauce on them. But does your style ever kind of like, you ever worry about your style not crossing over as a popular fighter? Does that ever cross your mind?
um, no, mainly because especially being on Twitter this past month or so,
Mm-hmm.
seeing a lot of hate. I mean, I'm kind of accustomed to it at this point. And then as well, like being coming from around being with Floyd and stuff like that. I mean, it's just I was gonna get that regardless. And I've seen Shakur and Devin now. Now all of a sudden, Devin was getting crazy hate a year ago, and now all of a sudden
Mm.
he's the boogeyman, and
Yeah,
everybody loves
Debo.
Devin, and Devin is the money man, and everybody needs to fight Dev to get paid or anything like that. So boxing fans just they turn on a fighter, they
It's
go
a
up and
roller
down. So
coaster.
I'm not
It's a
really
roller coaster ride.
I'm not really worried about it at all. I mean, I know I got to be myself and just whoever loves me, they love me. And I've been seeing a lot of people say that they didn't like my performance right
Uh,
now, even
that's crazy.
because I didn't stop them. So
That's crazy.
you know, Caesar Correa was a tough fighter. He was taking a lot of shots, and even if you watch some videos from the bleachers or whatever, I don't know the
Right.
ringside.
Whatever.
That's what I was trying to say.
Right,
From
right, right, right.
ringside, you can hear the punches. Like I was
No,
really,
you
Yo,
was
yeah,
putting
no,
it
no,
on him, family.
you
I
were
saw
putting
it.
on
giving
him.
him good shots,
Yeah,
but
no, no.
he had a chin on him. So
Yeah,
I
no,
just
Durable.
King,
You
I
can't
King,
do
just
that's
nothing about durable.
King. First of all, I mean, it goes without saying, but I'll say it. There's a reason why Dana White gave you the 50K. There's a reason why
Facts.
you were the third fight of the night, and you put on such a great performance, and it was so memorable that no matter what fight came after you, I want you to think about that. There was only two people in ZUFFA 1 that got a bonus. That's Julian Rodriguez and you. So the fact that you did that, oh, King, no, there's no question that boxing, maybe the boxing fan haters, but boxing aficionados look at you as that up and coming guy. I mean, believe me, Claymore was way super excited about you, and then I was like, okay, yeah, and then I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is gonna be the guy, right? So no,
I literally got in that conversation before the fight and was like, yo, he's gonna take it. Watch.
And that's actually my question, King, is when you watch Shakur, right? And I just said it yesterday that we're now living in the Shakur era, and hopefully we get to see him get those big fights now. You're kind of like, if Shakur is in the Michael Jordan phase of his life, let's say, you're kind of like Kobe, right? Like when Kobe was coming in, do you ever look at that? Do you ever say to yourself, I respect Shakur, I love Shakur, but I'm gonna get there and I want to be better?
For sure. I mean, that goes without saying.
Is Shakur Jordan right now?
Stop it, Clay. You know.
No, I want to know from Robert. Hold on. I want to know from Robert. Is Shakur Jordan right now? Is he? Because I know Floyd is your favorite fighter. You know what I'm saying? You already said that earlier.
Well, actually, Muhammad Ali is your number one fighter, isn't he?
Thank you.
It's Louisville, Kentucky, right? Yeah, exactly. Claymore. Yeah, Louisville, Kentucky, bro. What you doing, baby? No. Robert said
earlier he said that Floyd was
no. I'm gonna tell you,
Robert, the fighter I look up to for sure. And then meeting him, I mean, that was top guy at that time. But no. Ali has always been my favorite since I was when I learned boxing. I'll say that because I ain't watched boxing before boxing. But with Ali, I mean, since I was 8-9 years old, I would be running the treadmill with the TV going with Ali highlights, Roy Jones highlights, Pernell Whitaker, and Floyd. So it's a lot of guys like that, but Ali's definitely my top guy.
Right. So then when Claymore was asking you, for me, again, I was saying it that we're in the Shakur era right now. He's 28 years old. He's in the beginning.
But
of his
I want to know if he agrees with that.
Yeah.
If he agrees with that.
Shakur being Jordan?
Yeah.
Not Jordan.
Not Jordan, but like he's the best player right now moving forward, right? At 28, in that.
Here we go. Let him talk.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it's very awkward to go off of that with like him being the best. I think he's top 5.
Okay.
Sure.
After
I want to add something before Reyes goes in, and I think it's important because I like where he was going with the question, but I want the Jordan thing for me was like, I don't know if he's Jordan. But but that being said though, I think what Reyes may have been saying, and what I definitely feel like is you're on a trajectory path to be a tactician like a Shakur Stevenson, that you have the ability to disarm fighters and your pedigree, your IQ takes you into that conversation. So that's why I even brought it up as far as you seeing him putting on that kind of performance against a Teofimo. Did that inspire you, right? I was trying to see if that inspired you to know that, man, I compare you guys a little bit. I think you're on that trajectory. Does that make sense, Robert? Like,
I understand. I mean, I feel the same way.
Right. That's why I was saying it's like Kobe when Kobe was looking at Jordan. That's what my point was. Are you looking at Shakur like that?
You know what? I understand what you're saying. That I'm looking at him as he's a great fighter, but I'm also looking to get past him.
For sure. You think that y'all could ever cross paths at some point in the future? Is that why? Is that realistic?
If he's gonna stay at 135, what's going to have to happen?
I love it.
All right, I love it.
Pops. Mr. Meriwether, I'm glad you're here because I had a question earlier that I asked your son, and you weren't there. So I want to bring it back full circle here on the father-son dynamic. We were talking about the Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez fight, and I was asking him, where did he think it went wrong? You know what I'm saying? Because I think we all thought it'd be more competitive, even if we picked Shakur. We thought it'd be a more competitive fight, but it turned out to be a one-sided affair. So I guess first thing I'm going to ask you is, how did you see the fight going, and did the fight go the way you thought it would go? I'm going to ask you that first.
No, I don't. It didn't go the way I thought it would go. Right, and also, I thought that Teofimo didn't have a plan. It seemed like when he went into the fight that it was just winging. He was just winging it. You know, he didn't adapt to anything. He didn't never block the jab. You know, he kept the lead hand down. He never tried to crowd Shakur. No head movement. You know, I thought if he would have made the fight a little tougher, you know, a little bit more rugged, then he might have had a little bit of success. But other than that, he got outclassed, got outcoached, everything.
So, and then the next question, the part 2 of the question is the father-son dynamic. And listen, if you don't want to speak on it, I understand. But I'm going to ask you because you guys have that relationship. There's a father-son dynamic between you and your son, and the way the corner works out for you guys makes a difference in how the fight turns out, right?
Right.
How do you guys manage that, and what did you think about what you saw happening in that corner on the opposite side from Shakur, on the Teofimo Lopez side, on that corner work? What did you see, and how did you feel about it?
Well, me and my son, we have nobody's relationship is perfect, but as far as when the corner goes, when it comes time for game time, we damn near perfect. You know, we don't. You know, he when it's fight time, he listens. He try to stick to the game plan, and it's more than his eyes and my eyes. That's why I got other coaches. You know what I'm saying? So it seemed like his father didn't have no go-to. He didn't have a go-to. Like me and my son, we've been working since the amateurs. We always have a go-to. I know from the look of his face, I know what he's thinking about. I know how he's feeling. You know, it's just what we do. We have that bond. We have that connection. He's never going to question me, and I'm never going to question him as far as when it comes time for fight time. But hell, during training camp, shit, we get all the animosity, he can't stand me, I can't stand him. We get all that out the way during training camp. He get on my nerves, I get on his nerves. That's during training camp. But when under the big lights, he performs.
That's a fact. We can see it, and we see the dynamic, and everybody's talking about it, that's why I brought it up, because I think the father-son dynamic in boxing sometimes is underappreciated or underspoke about. There's so many great fathers in the game, even Floyd and his father, and but you also have the ones that fell apart, right? Like Roy Jones and his father, and Shane and his father. So it's a dynamic that plays a big difference, especially in the up-and-coming, the great fighters, right? Always having to kind of figure that out. And I was definitely interested in how you guys looked at that.
But also, if I feel that I can't help my son in the corner, right, I'll step back and let somebody else take the lead if I feel I can't help my son.
That's awesome.
It's not about me. At the end of the day, it's about him and his success.
That's awesome.
If I'm not improving his game, or for some reason he's not responding to me that I want him to, I'll do it in the middle of a fight. I'll let one of my other coaches get in there and see if they can get to him. If I'm not getting to him.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It shows actually, Mr. Meriwether, that not only are you a mature father, but you're a very mature boxing coach. Because a very mature boxing coach would understand that if your fighter is tone deaf, that maybe it needs a different tone, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's beautiful. That I'm really glad you said that. I do want to kind of flip it, if it's okay with you, Clay, too. We are in Super Bowl week, and you guys are in Vegas just like me. And I'm not going to assume that you're a Raider fan just like I am, because I came from, but to be fair, just so that you know, King, I came from Oakland, so I was predisposed to having to be a Raider fan. Anyways. But Super Bowl week, I know growing up, you had played football, you know, that was the sport. And then you kind of got into the boxing because of your mom, in the fitness gym. And then you said to yourself, I'm going to be good at this. But football wise, for the Super Bowl this Sunday, who do you think will win? Because you got a Drake May who's only in his second year. Drake May's kind of like you, right? And then you got Sam Darnold, man,
He called me Kobe.
I told him Kobe was better than LeBron.
No, he not even. You don't know why.
Oh no!
I
So
do
that's
why
what that was all about.
He called
he calls Shakur Jordan.
Okay,
Yeah.
where does that come from? Kobe was okay. Pass it.
You have a
That's what
Shakur style.
it hit different. I got it. It was an
But,
inside
but,
thing going on with
but
that.
here's the difference, right? That Shakur don't take chances.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
difference.
All right.
I'm not
All
saying
right.
I'm not saying that King take chances. I'm just saying Shakur don't take chances.
Right. Okay. All right.
King, listen, King. I think King resonates with Shakur more than the dad does. He's like, man, you crazy. You're not seeing that. That boy working in there. Am I bugging? King, like, he doing things in there, man. You just not seeing it. He doing things in there. But,
Right.
No,
Right.
Shakur's a great fighter.
Mhm.
Hey, listen, I gave him his after this fight right here. I gave him his props. He controlled the fight with a jab.
Yeah.
He beat Teofimo with a jab.
But
To
King
be
could
the
probably
fighter-
do the same thing. Would you allow him to do that though? Do you feel like okay?
Yes.
That's what I want to know.
Listen, I've told him time and time again he can win a fight with his jab. I believe he have one of the best jabs as a prospect than anybody right now.
Right.
But he just got to commit to it, stick to it, and believe in it.
Right.
Because
Right.
he has a hell of a jab.
Yeah. No,
We saw it. We know.
he
Yeah.
got a hell of a left hook too.
That's his bread and butter.
Yeah.
You know
So-
what though? I appreciate that Drake made too though. That was a good one because he's
Yeah.
about to be
You know what?
MVP.
You know where?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
young MVP.
You know where I'm going with it. So who are you picking? Are you picking?
I'm a Steelers fan though. So
Okay.
6 rings. New England, they got 6 rings now. So I gotta go with Seattle just by default. I can't.
Okay.
It's like a hate in my heart that I can't let New England pass us because we've been at 6 rings for a minute now. So we can't let New England surpass us that fast. We gotta let Seattle win, and on top of that, we already beat Seattle in the Super Bowl before. So
all right.
It's kind of one up on New England too.
My enemy's enemy, right?
Yeah.
My enemy's enemy,
No.
bro. It is what it is.
I understand that, King. I understand that. Just so that you know, because you are a Steelers fan, that wasn't a catch, bro. The immaculate reception was not a catch. I just want to let you know that.
Definitely was a catch.
Guys, listen, I don't want to hold you guys up. We've been on for a minute. I'll hold you. I'm not playing. I'll hold you. I got to be. I want to be
Do your
respectful.
thing, Claymore.
Okay, because I want to be respectful of your time, bro. Because we will bully. We'll take the hand.
Thing, man.
You give us a finger, we will take the hand, bro.
I honestly, we so much appreciate you, Mr. Meriwether, for joining us today too. We would absolutely love to have you on, on a different time, Mr. Meriwether, and talk to you about the coaching side of things. We've had Bernard Hackett on here, Bernard with Jaleel. So, and King, we really appreciate your time. You are an articulate, intelligent 20-year-old. The only other question I would have asked was, if you do ever decide to go to college, what would you go for? What would your master's degree be on?
Engineering. For sure.
Oh my gosh.
And that's because I love cars, and it's helpful for me because I'm great at math. I mean, that's always been my number one subject since I was in elementary school. With numbers, I'm just good with numbers,
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
he definitely added up that bonus quick.
Yeah.
Oh, I know he was.
He
was back up there like that.
He did one of these numbers. Cha-ching.
What we doing, King? Piles of 10, piles of 5, piles of how was he working?
Oh man.
Did you get it mixed up, or we digital? We just put it in the account. Just load up the account.
It's just in the account.
There we go. All right.
We gotta let it sit. We gotta let it sit too. So.
Hey, King,
man.
thank you.
I got one last thing.
Wait. He's got one last thing.
How y'all get that picture? Because my mom needs that picture. She been.
The picture I got of you on the thumbnail. Yeah, I snatched it off of where did I take it from, man? I'm gonna tell you. I can send it to you though.
Yeah, we'll send it to you.
What right there?
You don't see it? Hold on, let me look him up.
Mr. Meriwether, you don't see it?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I need that one.
I'm about to say, I'll look it up. Here it is, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see it?
Yeah, you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right here in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look GQ on that one.
Yeah, I
Okay.
need that one. I need that one. My mom loved that one.
Yeah, I'll get it together for you, man. I'll send it over to your dad's. I'll text it over.
I appreciate it.
And I'll send you the reference
Thank
point
you.
to the location I got it from. I got to figure out, but I'll find out where I got it from too as well.
Did you get it from the World Boxing News one?
What's that? Where I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll find it right now.
You got. I know they altered that one.
Hold
I
on.
looked a little crazy on that one, a little funny.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I touched you up, bro. I got you together.
Yeah.
I got you together. But
he did a whole Clay did a whole edit with it. So we'll make sure we send it to you, King. We'll make sure we send it to you.
I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you so much, Mr. Meriwether. Thank you very much. I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys soon since you guys are in Vegas. And please, you guys are welcome to the show anytime, right, Claymore? Anytime you guys want to come on.
As much as you can. Yeah, please. Yo, listen, I'm gonna be reaching out to your father regularly. You know what I'm saying? Saying good luck to you guys and all those things. And I also wanted to know, do you guys know when your next fight is, or you don't know yet?
It's the beginning of April, end of March.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having us.
Man, thank y'all for having us.
Thank you, King.
Being here, man. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Robert Meriwether, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Meriwether. Yeah, we was holding them up here for a while. I kind of felt that. I'm like, damn, we ain't got no type of etiquette, bro. We just don't give it.
But you know what it is, though, Clay, is that it's kind of like what happened with Julian, right? They really open up because we're trying to talk about all the different aspects of life, and the fact that I'm glad we ended it with him saying he would have been an engineer, because that's awesome, bro. I want the fans to know, look, man, boxers are very high level intelligence here. We're not, very high level intelligence. So
no doubt,
good job. Good job. Good job.
Ray Davis here. Coach Hackett. I know you're in the back. If you want to pop up, let me know.
Yeah. He's ready. Let's bring in the coach for the panel.
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna go back down in the chat, Clay.
You're good, right? So Coach Hackett, first of all, thank you very much for gracing us with your time. The Robert Meriwether interview, as you saw, there was a flow to it. You're used to it because of Jaleel and yourself, but we're in the panel portion. Again, you joined us yesterday while you were at the airport. Glad you made it safely. Congratulations on an amazing win. Jaleel was awesome at the post-fight conference. Before we even get started with our whole panel discussion, how you feeling on a Wednesday coming home from a win?
I feel good. Great experience. Loved everything about it. I think we had a great time. Want to give a shout out to our opponent. You can't look good if you don't have anybody who wants to look good as well. So I want to thank Roberto Cruz. But yeah, we had a great experience, great time, but can't wait to go back.
No doubt. How's Jaleel doing? What's he doing?
Doing great. Getting a little relaxation. Hey,
any new tattoos? Anything new?
Hey, give it a week. It'll probably be something.
It'll be something, right? Did you guys come home together? Did he come home first? Did he come after you, or?
No, we came home together.
Okay. So he come home, he's relaxing, man. He's enjoying it. The experience as far as with the production, because that was your first time running through it with them, right? Like, all right, let's see. Did you guys anticipate anything? Did it meet your expectations? Did it exceed your expectations? What do you think about it?
I think it exceeded my expectations. I think they were. I say this: the more I learned about them as a company, not ZUFFA as boxing, but TKO, the more I realized, wow, they ran so smooth like that. The more I realized, it's if I tell anybody what I thought, I've said since I've seen it, it was like TKO formed a company, and then they said, we are gonna go get the cream of the crop from Showtime, HBO, WWE, UFC. We're going to put together a dream team. And the dream team is in every aspect of running this business. If Showtime had the greatest guys that did camera work, we want those guys that do camera work. If the panel was made up of any better group. I couldn't think of one. To me, this group actually had fighters who gave commentary based on actually being fighters.
Man.
Max Kellerman's great. I think he gives excellent commentary, but to have Andre Ward and his level of intellect when he spoke to the boxing side. I think Max Kellerman did a great job of giving play-by-play color commentary because that's what he does. He does an excellent job with that. And when he brought up different pieces, I'm glad Andre was there to be able to kind of balance the pieces out.
Put the perspective on it, right? Like, and I agree with you, by the way, not to cut you off, but I noticed that was the first thing I noticed was the fighter, the quality of, I want to say experience that was there, that they built up there. And I think that makes a big difference in having that quality calling your son's fights, right? Having somebody who can really put in perspective what you're looking at. Like, no, you need to see that this guy, like Andre, is going to give you your best chance at people seeing all the intangibles that Jaleel is bringing to the table and what he's doing in the ring. Does that make sense?
No, that made perfect sense. One time I think Max was saying, hey, I love the way they're doing it, but he won't be able to, treat it like a joystick all the time. And Andre was like, I think they're working perfectly together anytime that he's calling something and his son was throwing those punches in a split second. It wasn't a joystick. They're sharing the same mind. So that was what I think was the balance piece with Andre giving out his. People don't understand that, when you get in sync with your fighter or just life puts you in sync with your kid, you almost know what they're going to do before they do it, or what we worked on in life. This should be the next thing that happens. And I think that's what Andre was understanding, was he's not joysticking him. They're working together. And for me, it's one of my hidden joys. I'm one of those guys that I don't mind saying what I'm gonna say, and you take it the way you want to take it, but I'm not apologetic for what I say. I meant what I said at the time I said it. So when I coach, I noticed that a lot of coaches, it's so funny. The biggest coaches be in front of the biggest crowds, but they can only coach when they know that the crowd, or when their mind tells them the crowd is not on them, because if they think it's on them, then they can't speak well. So for me, when I'm coaching with my son and we're doing that, this is even from the amateur days. I feel it makes. I'm not coaching my son in the sense of coaching him. I'm actually keeping the other coach from coaching his fighter, because most of them don't want to say something that somebody perceives stupid, and when they say it, their fighter gets knocked out. So they'll rather be quiet. Where me, I'm gonna say it. And so I've systematically eliminated your coach from comfortably coaching you while the fight is going.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, man. You guys, it looked like Julia was happy, man. He looked like a pig in slop, right? I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, he looked like he was in his element. Yeah, he looked like he was in his element. He looked like he wanted more. Like, he just looked like he enjoyed every minute of it. And he looked, like I said to you yesterday, he looked healthy, man. He looked good, man. You know what I'm saying? We've always taken notice to the way he looked at 147. He was going through. I'll never forget that press conference with Pete Dobson. I was like, man, bro. It just looked like he was struggling, and it was refreshing to see him, you know what I mean, where he was at on the ZUFFA at that 160. Seems like he's right at home. You know what I mean?
Hey, Mr.
If you make a
Hackett.
commitment to something, then you have to see it through.
Yes, sir.
My son made commitments at 47. He had things that he wanted to achieve at 47. And as long as he was willing to see him through, I was going to support him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, Coach Hackett. So, most people don't even realize that there was the 157 cap on Jaleel, but now on his next fight, he's going to actually get to really fill out at 160, right? It won't even be this weird little, I have to cap myself down to 157. So we never want to get anyone in trouble, say what you want to say, but He didn't look like he got hurt on that fight. I mean, blood is just normal. You get blood in sparring. You and I both know that, having been in the gym and coaching fighters. So since he's not hurt, and I know he probably already did the CAT scan or a CAT scan is coming, how soon are we looking to get back in there? Can I ask that?
To me, in a perfect world, I can speak on the perfect world because they haven't told us anything yet. But in a perfect world, I would like to see Jaleel back in the ring in April, early April.
Yeah, well, we heard about Robert Meriwether is going to be coming on an April show, so early April. Okay,
I would love to be back on the show in April, just because ZUFFA is giving you so many opportunities, and for the young guys that sign with ZUFFA now, they can almost. It's crazy, and I'm saying it's crazy. ZUFFA just it's crazy, but you can damn near create your schedule. You can create your schedule. So in a perfect world, if we can go in January, April, maybe August, September, and then hey, especially if we can finish out the year with something. But if we couldn't, if we could go January, April, September, and then January again, that gives us a guaranteed 3. And if something comes in between there, we willing to take it. But they saying, man, you want to fight? We got you on a schedule, but if you want to go before then and we got the spot open, then people trying to put fights on. They're not trying to put Twitter wars on. They're trying to put fights on.
Don't talk about it.
Hey, yes, sir.
Dana talked about it in the press conference. You know what I'm saying? He pretty much put everybody on notice. Like, we're going to be adding a lot more fights to this. I know we told you guys it was going to be 12 minimum, but he was like, it seems like it's going to be a lot more fights, and he seemed to be very optimistic about the ability to do that. And obviously, like he said, because he said it, the fighters want to fight, man. The fighters really want to fight, man. And when you got that type of situation, it makes it so much easier to flow and just put cards together and just roll out events.
You got so many fighters playing catch up, career catch up.
Right.
The old system of things had the majority of fighters not fighting. They had the top fighters not wanting to take fights. And then you had the middle class of fighters that were holding down the ship, trying to stay steady. I give shout out to Sebastian Fundora. I think 2 years ago we seen him fight, and for Sebastian was like 6 times in a year.
Right.
But you couldn't get not one of the top guys to take a fight against another top guy. And that just hurt fights, man. So I think a lot of fighters signing with ZUFFA, they playing career catch up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, we were speaking about that even earlier on the show before Robert Meriwether came on, where Caleb Plant was there to watch your son when Regis Prograis was there. Yeah.
Shout out to Caleb. That's my guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of fighters. I mean, again, we don't want to say anything. All we can really do is speculate, but a lot of fighters are moving over to ZUFFA. The schedule is looking like, for now, it's looking like it's the trajectory of every 2 weeks. There's a fight. We got another one coming up here in Vegas on my birthday, Mr. Hackett. So I don't know if you're coming up for my birthday weekend, but let me know if you're coming up here to watch FA Jogba versus Charles Martin, because we needed to try that. You know what's funny, Mr. Hackett? And I'll show you the picture. So I know that you told me the schedule and you guys were heading to ZUFFA. I knew you were locked in on that Friday, right? You got to make the weight. But I'd actually brought the empanadas for you when I texted you that I was at the cafeteria, but I knew you might have already gone to ZUFFA. So what you missed out on is the best Filipino empanadas you could have had, Mr. Hackett. You could have had it. Eating it in front of Jaleel while he's trying to make weight.
Hey, man, you might have made Jaleel bite me, man.
You've been out there like, go ahead, man. Keep running, man. What you doing? Man.
You looking great, man. You looking great.
You keep staring at me, bro. That ain't gonna help you. Ain't gonna help you stay on weight. You need to focus on what you're doing. I'm focused on what I'm doing. But so look, Mr. Hackett. I mean, listen, man. Great fight for Jaleel. Great card, by the way. The card hit off, man. It was a great card, man. Right?
I think I got gypped. I think I got gypped on that card. I got gypped.
You did? On the bonus?
It was too much quality on there with too much good fight. I need to be on a card where the level might be a little different. Because it was too Before we even fought, and I looked at some of the fights that happened and look what was coming up. I
Right.
said, Jaleel, let's just get our check tonight.
Yeah, let's just get out of here.
Yeah,
Let's get up out of here.
yeah.
I know when Bosnia got stopped, you were like, yeah, we're done. Okay, that's
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Hey, after Jaleel's fight, and he was watching a little bit of the next fight with Hot Rod.
Yeah.
Jaleel said, "Yeah, let's go on back to the hotel." He said, "Let's go, let's go back to the hotel."
And
Yeah,
then
this ain't
Rayo,
happening.
and then Rayo in
Yeah,
that
Ryo
war,
liked it too.
in that
Yeah.
Man, we was at the hotel watching the war, and I said, "I'm glad he said let's go back, because ain't no way in the world that we was getting a dime the way them two went at it, the way them two was firing punches.
Crazy.
I wasn't no get a dime."
Crazy.
Right.
It was a shootout, man. It was a literal shootout in that main event. But that being said, we had a great weekend of boxing, right? The weekend was lit. I know you guys were dialed into what you were doing, but I think I asked you yesterday, and you said you did get an opportunity to see. Did you get an opportunity to see those fights, or?
Yeah, like
I watched that card.
Yeah. Okay.
I watched the Xander fight. I didn't watch the card. I watched the fight.
Right.
I was very interested in that, and I'll say it once. I'll say it again. Jaleel Hackett and Xander Zayas at 160, belt or no belt, that's going to be fireworks. I think the emergence of ZUFFA is going to make all of the dream fights for the young guys really happen. So I really was interested in that fight. Shout out to Xander. He's now the unified champion. And to me, he takes the number one spot at 154 as the best fighter. He has two of the belts. And so I had to give him that spot. Hope he can get that third belt, which they're talking about he's going to try and get by the end of the summer. I guess Bob's really showing that, hey, I give my guys a chance to be great. I think the only stumbling block or roadblock into him becoming undisputed is Sebastian Fundora. And Fundora he's a big problem for anybody he fights. So, I hope he cleans up that division. I hope, God willing, we get to do what we got to do, and Xander come up to 160, and we can get it on. And if he doesn't feel like fighting us at 160 because he isn't completely fair to it, I don't mind fighting him at fair. I was 57, 58 for him. I think that's the young mega fight for these young guys. That's the young mega fight. Xander doesn't have any fear of fighting anybody. Jaleel doesn't have any fear of fighting anybody. And I think for them, they could kick the door in on the next young guys who are willing to take chances to be great.
Right. Shout out to Mill City in the building. Mill, what's good? Said, what's up, fellas? Congrats to Hackett on his ZUFFA debut. I told you a month ago they had plans for Xander Zayas. Yeah, Mill, man. Mill, that's my guy, man. So you saw the Xander fight, and obviously some personal interest in there because Xander, I agree with you, by the way, number one spot right now, 154. You just got to give it to him. Somebody's gonna have to take him off that throne. We're not just gonna keep playing that game, man. That kid is just amazing. Youngest unified champion in the game right now. What do you think about the Shakur? Did we speak? I don't know how much. I can't remember what we spoke about yesterday, but I'm gonna go back.
No. Mr. Hackett, we mainly spoke on yours, and congratulations to you a little bit because it was a very short time. So, but before we do the Xander, you also saw the Bakram and Kelly fight, right, Mr. Hackett?
Yep, sure did.
Yeah,
sure did.
And so that we our whole subject yesterday, as you were on the plane, was the 154 division is completely turned around now. I had a whole soliloquy on like me or not, but Xander Zayas is the best 154 pounder, and everybody's got to go get him now. When you saw Kelly and Bakram, both Clay and I had predicted that if there was going to be an upset, it would definitely be the Kelly fight. Kelly gets the upset. Is Kelly boots? Is that what you want to see? Where are you at with Josh Kelly now, Mr. Hackett?
I'll say this: Josh Kelly's a great fighter. I have no issue of it at all. He's a great fighter. But in my opinion, the rules that were implemented for that fight, if people actually knew the rules that were implemented, Bakram lost on the scale. He lost to the scale. The reason I say that, Wednesday before The Wednesday of fight week, he had to weigh 158.
Okay.
The Friday, he had to weigh 54. And then
Okay.
Saturday morning, he couldn't weigh any more than 64. If you go back to Monday, when they faced off, when he had the hood on, he looked small. He looked small. And when a guy is used to saying the night before I have to weigh in, I'm going to take off 12, 15 pounds. To make him have to take it off earlier in the week, stay at 158, which was 4 pounds above the contracted weight, then weigh in at 54, then cannot completely rehydrate itself beyond 10 pounds. You kind of been making him under a water clause since Tuesday. So he had to basically make weight on Tuesday, then turn around and try to get a little nutrition to put back what he lost for the Wednesday weigh-in, then take it out again and make weight on Friday, and then maintain a balance and not be above 64, and then have a handful of hours to get himself feeling great again. So in my opinion, he lost the fight on the scale. If you look at him, look at previous fights, and then look at him when they got in the ring to start the fight, he looks smaller than he normally does.
It's interesting you say that. I'm glad you explained it to the listeners, Coach Hackett, because Jaleel on the post-fight conference said he'd never eaten as good as he's ever eaten before a weigh-in. I'm talking about him going to his weigh-ins because of how the UFC PI was providing food for him. Like, hey, we want you to eat before your going into your weigh-ins, which he's not starving, right? He's like, oh my gosh, I'm eating before weigh-ins.
Like, literally, by the way, I think it was Robert Meriwether. I feel like, and I should have asked him this, but he was, a lot of the fighters, by the way, have been talking about that, just not being aware or having that access to the nutritionist. Who there were fighters who like, I would never eat carbs. You know what I'm saying? But they said that the nutritionist over there, like, what are you talking about? You need carbs, and they found a way to implement the carbs in there, but still keep them healthy on weight. Is that what Jaleel experienced?
Yeah, same thing. The bag of food that they gave you per day, we thought in a boxing world, that was the food for the week.
Right. Right.
So for these guys to have that available that day and say, hold up, this is going to push me over. And you have professionals saying it's not even designed to push you over. Right. And they're eating that, and so that it's going to take some getting used to for fighters, because their body is trained to one thing, you know, and being able to do the things that they're able to do now with the assistance is going to be massive change. But to the average fighter, that's just something that's just not a doable thing.
Right. And the reason why I want to ask this question, Mr. Hackett, is, do you now think that Bakram is no longer beholden to any of the 4 sanctioning bodies? Is he someone that we could see in ZUFFA?
I think anybody is somebody you could see in ZUFFA, including world champions. I don't take world champions off the block, because it's so much going on in boxing that when you look at what ZUFFA is doing and what you look at the normal state of boxing was just totally unfair. But now you have something to balance the unfair. I'll give an example. I use Meriwether. He got his bonus. He got everything. He made more money in an undercard fight than Diego Pacheco made on his last fight.
Ooh.
And that's not me saying it. If you remember, the California Commission put the numbers for that whole card out.
Right.
About a month ago, they put the whole numbers out. He made more money than Pacheco, and Pacheco was the main event.
Man, so when Pacheco fought Kevin Lele Sajo, which was an extremely hard 12-round fight,
he
Robert Meriwether III just won more money for a 6-rounder on his 10th fight than someone who's already a world champion contender. Wow.
And I mean, it's interesting that you bring that up because we just watched Diego Pacheco walk out of a bid, right, to fight Hamza Sharaj for a vacant WBC title. Well,
Why
WBO
you think
title.
he walked out? Why you think he walked out?
That's what I was gonna say.
Somebody on his team already told him, do you know this kid Meriwether made more or just as much money as you in his fight? And they want us to do what?
Right.
That's why I literally was going to go with it. I was
no.
going to say it's interesting you said that because he just walked out of that bid and everybody's wondering what. And you know, it's so funny because on a surface level, not having that inside knowledge that you have, boxing fans are going to jump right into the first bag, right? Diego's scared of Hamza. He don't want to fight Hamza. He's scared of fighting him and not realizing that there's this underlying business that is just one-sided in this boxing space where these A sides and you know, collect and make this 1%, 2% of the game is making this money, and you got these B sides, quote unquote, if you want to call them, struggling to make the ends meet because it just doesn't make sense. It's lopsided.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
they got boxers out here feeling like TLC. You watch the TLC documentary, they said we made $10 million, but we only walked away with 50 grand each. Had boxers feeling like TLC out here. I mean, if you just look at what ZUFFA has done in a short span where they are making other fighters rich. Just think, Bam got an offer from Matchroom.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Bam got an offer.
Right.
Right after he got his offer, ZUFFA made him a larger offer, and Eddie matched it.
Yeah.
If that was the case, why Eddie ain't just offering that off the break?
There you go. Hey,
So
speak to him, Mr. Hackett.
So ZUFFA made Bam a richer man. Shout out to Bam and his team for getting that money. They might have ultimately signed back with Matchroom, but Matchroom had to come off of money that they had no plans on spending.
Right.
To keep Bam.
Right.
Diego Pacheco. Somebody with sense in his team said, Bam got more money. These kids got more money. You got less money, but they talking about you going to purse bid. This is my feeling on purse bid. When you see purse bids happen, it's for a title fight. You have two promotion companies most of the time dealing with it, the challenger and the champion. I'm not as mad at the challenger's company. That's not my issue. My issue is if I bust my ass for you and I win a world title and I signed a contract that you want to hold me beholden to, what is the job of a promoter? To promote my fight. And if you choose to let my fight go to purse bid because you don't think I'm worth the money that you would have to spend, then I think every world champion whose fight goes to purse bid but they have a promoter immediately comes a free agent if his promoter does not win the purse bid. Because you did not promote my fight. You let my fight go to purse bid, so I should also have the ability to be a free agent immediately because you still want your piece of the money even if another promoter wins the bid. I pay you to promote me. So if your job is to promote me and you didn't promote me, then you in essence breached the contract. There's no language in the contract that says purse bid. If I'm a champion, your job is to promote me, not let me go to purse bid. So if you don't win the purse bid, then in that case, I should be free to go wherever I want to go. That minute that the new purse bid was announced to the other promoter. When they don't want to promote your fight, it's 90% of the time is because you're a fighter who has a mandatory purse from your promoter. They owe you $4 million, $5 million, and they don't think that your fight is worth that because they're going to lose money. So they let it go to purse bid, and you get the percentage based on the purse bid, but they still get their percentage of what they're supposed to get from that. So if that's the case, I should be free to go.
Mr. Hackett, I'm so glad you're saying this because we started the show where me and Clay were playing like devil's advocates against each other, and I was playing the part of the casual fan of not understanding. I don't understand, why would Devin Haney need to partner when he's the guy that should be hunted by everybody? And you're really putting into light this whole that way the sanctioning bodies work, right? And this purse bid idea, and most importantly, what you're saying, what's a promoter's job? To promote the fight. So if you're not promoting the fight, isn't that breach of contract? Right?
Yeah,
isn't
that's
that breach of contract, right?
The IBF, the WBA, the WBC, and the WBO are not beholden to any fighter. They're not. You hold their belt, then you hold their belt. If you lose the belt, you lose the belt. Your promoter is beholden to you just as you are beholden to the promoter. So if I'm responsible for upholding my part, why shouldn't you be responsible for upholding your part?
Right.
If you can promote my fight and I lose and I signed a 5-fight deal with you, but you could drop me after the first fight I lose, then why shouldn't I be able to drop you at the first time you send my fight to purse bid? I should have the same right to drop you. I should be able to go out there and I can see what the free agent market hold for a champion. Don't try and send me out there with no belt. Let me go test the market as a champion. And if you want to re-sign me, yesterday's prices, not today's prices.
Yeah, Mr. Hackett. No, and you're right, because the landscape, when the minute ZUFFA entered, the landscape changed. And it completely changed, right? And now, again, not that we care what the fighters make, but what we care about is seeing the best fight the best. But hearing so many ZUFFA managers, coaches like yourself, fighters telling us how they're being treated almost as if they were in an NFL team, we're like, why wouldn't you go? And me and Clay have had these private conversations where it's like, man, I mean, why wouldn't a world champion go? So it feels so good, Mr. Hackett, for you to validate that. Why would it be impossible for Virgil Ortiz, for example, to come to ZUFFA?
And ZUFFA ain't standing in the way of no big fight. That's the biggest misconception. ZUFFA is saying if you're a Jaleel Hackett, we'll put you on ZUFFA. You show us that you are the goods, and you can move your way up to a ZUFFA title, which puts you in the top 10 of Ring Magazine, which could position you to fight anybody who's also in that top 10 in a potential Riyadh card. They didn't say that you weren't able to fight big fights. They just gave you a new path to get there. If you're a current world champion and you have a belt and you still want to fight the biggest fights for you, you might be on ZUFFA for a regular fight. But if they got a big fight against a top guy, you be in Riyadh. That BS they talking about fighters making $20,000 for fighting championships or whatever. That's BS.
It's been BS.
Them contracts clearly state if you get an opportunity to fight on something big, whether it's Ring or ZUFFA, they negotiate. Then those people that to negotiate whatever the situation is. They're not keeping nobody from making money. They encouraging you to make money. They're encouraging you. Please come get some money. You want to fight? You willing to fight the top guys? This is going to clear out the metrosexuals of boxing. Those guys who do not want to fight nobody, but they got enough of a fan base to where the fan base can make promoters keep giving them layups and get money. It's eliminating that. A ZUFFA champion, I use Conor McGregor. If you look at his record, Conor McGregor's combat fighting record is 22-6. He's 10-4 in the UFC.
That's right.
Conor McGregor was one of the most financially prosperous guys in the UFC.
Right.
With 6 losses.
Right.
6 losses. So a ZUFFA guy, he might lose fights. Jaleel could win a ZUFFA title, but in the road to winning a ZUFFA title, he could lose 2 more fights. Right. Now he would be a 12-3 guy, but he lost to 2 guys who were highly qualified. Then he wins the title. and you get him an opportunity to fight. Just use an example, not down in my guy, a Xander Zayas, who let's say he doesn't fight anybody else but the right people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to back my guy that got more scratches on his armor because I know he's tested different.
Right.
He's tested different. I know none of these other promoters are investing into the fighter. You are a independent contractor who just happens to work with Top Rank or whoever it is, Matchroom. Whereas ZUFFA, you're part of the family network, and we want to see you be at your best. That's why you can use the performance center that look like a damn college campus. The only thing I can tell people, the average person, if you ever saw Enter the Dragon, where they went to the island and Bruce Lee was fighting up, that's what the performance center reminds you of. Like they got they got a building where they building cyborgs. Where they building.
That's what they're doing, though, Coach. They're developing and that's what intrigues me so much about ZUFFA from a fan's point of view, right? Like you guys have your points that it impresses you on, right? But you're a fighter. I'm not a fighter. You know what I mean? You're training a fighter. But from the outside looking in, trying to see American boxing be on top again, to see our fighters getting gold medals at the Olympics again, to being the standard for boxing again, it's going to take a company with a vision like what I see Dana's doing. We're going to invest in the fighters, nutrition, recovery, activity, development, competition. We're going to create, and I keep telling everybody, in the next 3 to 5 years, and probably sooner, the pound for pound best fighter in the world will be a product of this system. Because it's just going to be, like you said, cyborgs, superhumans, super athletes. It's going to be the best version of everything, and they're going to get better because of the matchmaking. They're just going to develop it, and their records might not be undefeated, but they're going to be the baddest mother walking the planet. It will be that guy. When you get in the ring with that guy, he might be 20 professional fights, 3 losses. He's finna beat your ass.
I'll tell you like this. If you put Sugar Ray Robinson, Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns, you take those 4 fighters and you match up your 4 undefeateds of today's era, and just using 4 guys I know are undefeated. I don't make no mistakes. Right. Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Shakur Stevenson,
Terrence Crawford.
Bud Crawford. If you compare those guys, if you ask them to compare each other, they're gonna say we're all great. If you ask the casual, they're gonna say, "Oh, the 4 that are undefeated."
Right.
They won't look at Sugar Ray Robinson knocked out 178 people. That part they don't see. He knocked out 178 people. That's more than probably 4 fighters combined had fights. He had more knockouts than fights. But they'll say, man, he had 19 losses. Did you hear me say he knocked out 178 people?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking at. ZUFFA guys may be tested. ZUFFA guys may be tested. Let me tell you the mental stress that comes off of you. The mental stress that comes off of you and your family, and I'm using my family as the example. There's no stress if you go out there and fight a hard fight and lose. You ain't worried about tomorrow morning you're waking up and your promoter, who didn't tell you, but they told the media, we dropped him. We dropped him. So you find out on social media your promoter dropped you.
Right.
After you went to camp, after you gave it your best, and after you bled, the only thing they could say is you're not worth anything to me anymore, and they dropped you.
It makes a difference.
And this is and Mr. Hackett, again, just so that we make it clear to the people listening to us, you've never said a bad thing about Eddie Hearn or Matchroom.
No, I won't.
Yeah, and you never will, right? But these are just facts of things. Like these are just These are
if
just
somebody
facts.
if somebody sends a video to Eddie Hearns or anybody else and they say that I'm not giving a fact,
these are
I
just
understand.
facts. Yeah,
These are
Right.
just facts.
these are just
These just
facts,
facts.
right?
And that peace of mind, because we just watched an event this weekend. We seen mental health on the big stage, right? We watched
Yeah.
mental health on the big stage, just watching the breakdown of Tiafimo afterwards, and hating himself and God's always punishing me. We understand when people like Teddy Atlas talk about this game being 70, 80, 90% mental and 30, 20, 10% physical. We understand the value of peace of mind in a sport like this for a fighter who's developing and trying to challenge himself and be the best. It seems like for a moment here, fighters were just protecting their O's, right? Scared to put their O's on the line, and in the same time stifling their growth, right? Because they couldn't get in the ring with the best fights because they kept trying to strategically move around the competition and still get to the promised land and be a legacy fighter. This system provides these fighters to develop properly. Go for the win, of course. You want to be undefeated, but like Dana said, in my system, you undefeated up in here.
You a bad joke.
Here, you a bad mother. He said you a bad dude. Trust it.
It's a system that's designed to say undefeated fighter is really that good, and a guy with 2 or 3 losses has been tested.
Right.
That's what the system is designed. I can't think of the guy's name that Boots fought his first fight with Matchroom in Philadelphia. I cannot think of his name. He was supposed to fight him,
David
and
Avenizia?
the guy had to withdraw from the fight, and they had to get. I think Avenizia was the replacement. That guy, I can't think of it.
Oh, I know you're talking about. What's his name? Oh my God, he's from
I apologize to that man. But
he had an eye injury.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. He's from Canada. Oh, why am I forgetting this? Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
Cody Crowley. Cody Crowley.
Cody Crowley.
Yeah.
How many people remember the mental stuff he went through? How
His
many
father.
people remember his dad committed suicide because he felt he let his son down with this boxing shit?
Yeah.
Do you know how much stress that is on a man to know I gave my best, and when I gave my best on one particular night, it wasn't good enough, and my father felt that he let me down, and he took his life? These promoters, this is stuff I want the promoter to think about when, with the stroke of a pen, after you just lost, he drops you.
Right.
That's the one thing that they're taking away with that.
Right.
Zuffa saying fight. Yeah, Zuffa saying fight.
Guys, it's about that time for me. I'm not going to lie. So we can wrap it up with our last statements. I got to go to work. I'm not even.
Oh man! Oh man! No, but Mr. Hackett, Mr. Hackett, we want to thank you because the whole title of today's episode is "Good Business," and you've really shared the good business that's happening in the entire sport of boxing right now, and you've been through it with the Mayweathers
and shedding light on the other business,
and shedding light on what that was like versus shedding light on Zuffa boxing and what Dana White and the TKO group is doing. So thank you, Mr. Hackett. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate you. And listen, we're back on here on Thursday. We'll be back on here. I'm thinking you're coming on. Right?
I don't think I'm on. I think Jalil's on.
Yeah, it's Jalil. Yeah, we're gonna do a Jalil Hackett one at 3 o'clock. He'll be our guest. So yeah. But but Mr. Hackett, we would definitely, if you're free, like when we do the panel discussion, we would love to have you back, because you really shed a lot of light on a lot of things that people need to hear.
I'm available for you guys anytime. My thing is, God is blessing me and my family. Me and my wife, we are still actively working. Our family is doing very well. And if all I'm able to ever do is to give some enlightening information to another young fighter or another young family who doesn't have the ability we do financially outside of boxing, that we can shed it on them. Because for every wolf, there has to be somebody there to protect a young sheep. That's my thing. More dreams get dashed by promoters than dashed in the ring.
Yeah,
Nice to hear that.
fans just don't understand and they can't wrap their minds around it. And sometimes we put a lot of pressure on the fighters as far as calling them ducks or whatever have you, and not understanding that there's a lot of pressure on here to be undefeated, to be looked at a certain way, and that energy can affect somebody's mental in such a crazy way. Like we just talked about Cody Crowley's father, and we just saw Teofimo Lopez dealing with the situation where this man's probably wondering what his tomorrow is going to look like now that he's not a champion, now that he's taking this loss. You know what I mean? His father, all these different moving pieces. So I think there's a lot of peace of mind in a system that's set up to where you're not worried about that as much. You're more focused on the development of Jaleel, him getting better, him ultimately, when it's all said and done, being a champion, being the best, and being proven on the battlefield that's credible. You know what I'm saying? Because he's fought the fights. He's fought the fights that he was supposed to fight.
I just say one last thing before you go off.
Yes, sir.
Fighters always have to guess how many people saw him. They don't never know. They know the main event. Can I say shout out to Paramount Plus Deportes, the Spanish network? They posted a clip on their social media of Jaleel's fight, and it showed me that there were people watching him somewhere other than in the United States. And when you're talking about fighters getting a fan base built everywhere, it can only be done where people can see you for free.
Nice. Nice.
Also, I never said it yet. Everybody in the building, man, I shouldn't have to tell you guys this. Hit the damn like button, do that, and subscribe to the channel, bro. You guys, man, getting all this free, all these jewels, man. Hit the damn like button and subscribe to the channel, man. Guys, it's about that time. I gotta get out of here. It's 5:10. I'm already gonna be late. I already know I am. But
No problem.
I promise guys, we'll reconvene, man. Thursday. You guys already know how we're carrying it. We got another special guest coming in. We're trying to make this a more regular thing. We're trying to engage. We're trying to be part of the new movement, part of boxing. You know what I'm saying? Redemption of boxing, American boxing, a lot more engagement. Salute to everybody in the building. Thank you, Coach Bernard Hackett in the building. Thank you to Robert Meriwether and his son, Robert Meriwether III. That was a great interview, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Any super chats that we got, shout out to you guys. But until the next one, it's that ATP. It's that Combat Media Show. And you already know at this point. Right, Red?
Yes.
Yeah. Make sure y'all hit that hype button on the rewind.
Would make it this far, they hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball, I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say, I got them picking up the pieces. That mean you really playing with your life, I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like, hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this.